Okay, greetings, patriots, starseeds, and light workers, and of course our brave military men and women working in the field, underground, subterranean, and wherever else. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, I have some stories to tell you that came through Martin Brodell. He reads off of, he has a lot of people that send in, as you all do, you send in stuff, and maybe I should start doing what he's doing is start reading it off there, but I'm not, my equipment isn't set up like his. Anyways, he had a story about a couple that was doing some voluntary work. I couldn't remember the place, somewhere in the States. And they were there as a volunteer group, just kind of helping the store out or whatever was going on there. And they noticed a guy that had a Space Force hat and T-shirt on. So this guy named Wayne said and asked. He said, I'm I'm a vet, and but I want to thank you for your service. And he says, well, I'm still active duty. And he says, oh, really? He says, you're in the Space Force. He says, yes, sir. And he says, can you tell me some things? And he says, well, I'm under an NDA, but there's, I'll try to answer what I can answer you. So he says, now, he says, what about these chemtrails? Are they going to be eliminated? He says, well, all the effluent that's being spilled out right now and sprayed is to counteract the poisons that the dark fleets were trying to poison the planet with. So it's being counteracted with it right now. And then he proceeded to say he says, are we under any kind of threat? And he says, threat? He says, well, from, the dark fleets. He says, no. He says, up to this point, he says, we have eliminated or neutralized or executed humans and reptilians, about 440 million to date. And this continues. It wasn't exactly the number this Wayne guy could not make out the number, but he said it was somewhere around there. Anyways, then he proceeded to say, what about the beds? And the beds, he says, the med beds? He says, yes. And he said, well, the med beds are exactly what they say they are going to do. Okay. He says, and they are the most current that we're allowed, that the public's allowed to have. There is some military, higher technology for military, because of the risks that they're taking, and obviously they have, get more severe injuries, and so on and so forth. So he said that they do everything that they say do. They will grow limbs, they will grow organs, they will, bring your eyesight back. They'll bring, everything will be optimal. And he said, great. And he says, okay. And he wanted to walk away. He says, and just say, have a nice day. But Wayne kept on asking. He says, okay, well, just a couple more questions. He says, what about the money? And he turned, he's kind of smiled, and he says, well, the money's there. He says, what do you mean, tier 1 or tier 2? He says, well, we are tier 4B, which is all the digital warriors out there that have, received and, gone into, buying foreign currencies and stuff like this, or just, you're just digital warriors without buying the currency. He says, well, let's just put it this way. Everybody's going to have more money than they know what to do with, and they'll be extremely happy with everything. And he says, we don't know when exactly the date, but it's going to be definitely this year, this month, maybe even next month. He says, what about the EBS? What should we do there? He says, how many days? 10 days? He says, maybe make it 15 to 20 days. He says, but, to make sure you got food and water for those days and stay inside, and just let the military do their thing. And he says, we're very, very close right now. And then there was one last question. I think he asked, Wayne asked him. He says, I cannot go any further because I am one of the people that when the EBS comes on, I will be doing the narrating analog to the masses. So he says, "Can I get your name and rank, just so we can Google you?" He says yes, and he said his name or whatever, and of course at that night they went back home and they Google it, and it sure did look like him. So they couldn't make it out for sure because of course he had his hat on and t-shirt and in person or whatever, but it looked like in the picture that was very, very similar to him. So that's all good news. So everything that we've been saying, us citizen journalists have been saying is true. These are testimonies that are coming in from people around, in the States and around the world that are, having these experiences. Now, the banks will go down. Okay, the banks will go down, and but we're not going to be needing them in the future. Everything is going to be, if you got money in the bank or whatever is savings or whatever it is, it's all going to be put onto your Q card. Okay, and at that time you will receive a 1-800 number that you call, and then you set up all your appointments and do all your stuff from there. So, and I think, by doing that, you'll be your own banker, and you'll be able to, at that point, send money where you need to send it to. And of course, everybody's going to be under an NDA until we get the threat of these crazies off the street. And now, a couple of other things that I was, basically listening to. The moon is not organic. It was basically made by the Anunnaki and was drug into our orbit some 56,000 years ago. That's what he said. And they've been using it, and this is way out there, but they've been using it for when we die or pass on. That is a place where they capture the soul and then reincarnate you back to Earth. Okay, I'm just a messenger here. Okay, so that's how that was used. But now it's been captured, and they're using it for other things. And they said that it was hollowed out and reinforced with titanium. So I guess there must be a shitload of titanium out there. Anyways, that's what that was. And of course, again, to make everybody feel better or feel at ease, is that everything that we're seeing right now between Israel or Russia and Ukraine is all CGI. It's basically to build up for the big scare event. That's, whatever they're going to do, but they're making water parks in there now, and the Global Alliance is in there doing wonderful buildings and rebuilding a lot of things for the Ukrainian people, and along with Russia, and it's getting turned around. All these actors, the black hat or the dark forces have all been taken out. Okay. And we are basically, and even with this show going on with Israel and Iran, the Galactics have reassured everybody that they have all the nuclear missiles and whatever have been taken away from us children, because it does affect them as well. So you're basically watching a movie there as well. So all that is, all good information. And, it's coming from testimonies from people. I mean, we are, nobody's really listening to the news because they've been paid by, dark fleets to make up stories and keep you in the lie. Anyways, my time is up. We'll see you on the next one.